Hello everyone, welcome to this session on Ghost Tangles, and today we'll be furthering our journey. I think today will be the second last session, one more session to go before we wrap up our series on Ghost Tangles. Let's get started with today's session. I'm going to be trying the glaze pen today. This is by Sakura and it is a pen which does not show when you draw, yes, but it will show eventually when you add watercolor over it, yes. So that is what we are going to do today, to create a background on our tile first and then we shall draw over it. Yes, it would be an experiment again today also, so it's not something that I do every day, but let's try that. Yes, so using my Sakura glaze pen, and so I'm going to start with the tangle called AURA-LEAH, and I'm going to show you first how do I draw the tangle. So there is a center stem and then you have to just keep on adding auras on both sides such that they kind of roll up towards the end, something like this. So start with the center stem, a small C-shape curve, and then just keep adding auras on both sides, tapering towards the end, somewhat rolling at the end. Yes, that's the tangle AURA-LEAH, and I'm going to be drawing this tangle with my glaze pen on this Zendala tile today. I showed you because maybe you are not able to see what I'm drawing. Yes, so I'm going to start here and start with a stem. Maybe I'm also not able to see very clearly what I'm drawing. So yeah, I've started. It's a transparent ink. It's like drawing with white on a white tile. How should I show it to you? Yes, yes, can you see it? Yes. So I'm going to do this exercise all around, so this can be a little boring for you to watch because you are not able to see anything, but yes, give me a little time and I think it would be fun. Why I have chosen this tangle and why I have used this pen, because again this pen also helps me create that ghost tangle kind of an effect. Yes, I'm adding the third one here in between the first two, adding auras from both sides like this. Yes, can you see? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead, add some more and somewhat fill up the entire tile, so the tangle acts as a nice background to my foreground tangle, whatever tangle that we choose to draw over it. Yes, so again I'm going to add a few more. Take your time. Even I have to place my light at an angle so that I can see what I am drawing, so this can be a little challenge for you to watch. Yes, so I am still, yes, that's where I am. I'm going to add one in between. Yes, so let me do that exercise. There is no point recording this part of the video because I'm sure you can't see anything. Yes, I'll quickly get back. So I'm done with drawing my background and I hope you can see I have drawn the tangle AURA-LEAH and some bit of crescent moon at the ends on this tile. Yes, is it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? Yes, it does look beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my gray watercolor pencil on a piece of paper. Make sure the paper is thick, not pushing it too much because I want a very light shade. Using a brush, or you can use a water brush, whatever is readily available with you. I want very light color, so I'm just going to use this to run over my tile like this. I want light color. Yes, I don't want very dark shade. So I am running over my tile with my brush and the gray that I've put on my paper. Running my brush through. So this is almost like tangling with a white jelly roll on a grey tile. Yes. And that's it. We have created a beautiful ghost background. Isn't it lovely? Yes. Now if you want to draw on a white tile and you want to create this kind of a background, well, glaze pen is a very nice idea. It looks beautiful. It is almost like, as I mentioned, drawing on a grey tile with a white jelly roll. Yes. So let's set this aside. This work is done. Now we come to the tangling part. Give it a few minutes to dry up. Now what I'm going to do next is use a boulder nib like an 08 to draw over my tile. Now you can also use a finer nib, but what I realized is when you draw with a finer nib over the glaze pen, somehow the ink disappears. Yes, so the ghost tangle kind of takes away the ink. Yeah. So I'm going to use a boulder nib and see if the ink stays. Otherwise we will try some other hack. I'm going to start with a tangle called MAK-RAH-MEE. Yes, and instead of a Kiko in the center, I'm starting with some Bronx chairs or orbs to add a little bit of drama to my tile. Now I'm using a boulder nib, so I hope the ink doesn't disappear. So I have added a couple of Bronx chairs. I'm going to add a few tipples. Not exactly Bronx chairs, but maybe black pearls. Yes, something like this. Now you might want to use your jelly roll a little to kind of separate them from each other a little. Something like this. Yes, adding an aura would have been a good idea, but okay, not a problem. So I have kind of created a separation. And now let us add loops just the way we have in the tangle MAK-RAH-MEE. So I'm going to be adding lots of loops around my Bronx chairs, overlapping loops. Slowly take your time. No, don't be in a hurry. And then MAK-RAH-MEE has these beautiful zingers coming out. So you can see at places the line is disappearing. So you need to run over it again. And you need to keep a watch. Again, going to add one more zinger. Like this. Yes. So I'm adding loops. When it is Kiko in the center, then the loops are placed a little differently. But that's fine. We are experimenting here. So I'm adding a few more overlapping loops. Yes, now let's add some more of these zinger. Like this. Yes, take your time, slowly, draw at your own pace, have fun, draw behind as much as you can. Gives you nice shading opportunities. Yes, so adding one or two more here. You can add some more loops if you want. Let's see if we want to add loops or we want to add some other tangle here. Probably we'll add one or two more loops. Something like this. Yes, well, you can do that wherever you feel like. Probably we'll add one here, drawing behind. So drawing in such a way that my backgrounds are visible in between. Smaller loops, bigger loops. Yes, take your time. So this is kind of going behind somewhere, not totally visible, overlapping. Have fun making it more dense. Lot of drawing behind there. Can't really see everywhere the loops. Yes, now it is up to you. Rest of the tile you can either leave it as such, want the background tangles also to show, then you can consider leaving it as such, or you can add something else. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to add some ribbons now. Actually the tangle umbel. Now the tangle umbel is actually inked. The band is actually inked, but it is up to us how do we want to draw it here. Some bit of inking always adds to the look of the tile, but it depends how much you want to ink, because you want the backgrounds to show. Yes, so I have drawn ribbon on 4 sides. We can also add some here. Take your time, slowly. Wherever you wish to add it, add the ribbon. The tangle rambles maybe, or umbel, since we are not giving it a 3D kind of an effect, so better to call it umbel. some of the places the ink is disappearing, so make sure you touch it. Yes, for example, this place, it does take away some of the ink. Yes, but again, that's what the ghost will do. So now I'm going to add some ink because I think it will add to the look of my tile. So quite a bit of background is still showing, so it's fine to ink. Yes, something like this. Again, tiny spaces in between can also be inked. It will add to the look. Slowly go ahead. I'm not going to add anything more to this tile. I'm going to leave the rest of the space as it is because we want the ghost tangles also to show. Yes. So let's ink the umble. I'm leaving a highlight there. I'm not sure if the chalk will work here. So better to leave the highlight while you are inking. Yes. You can bring this line inside like this and ink the in between spaces also. It will look nice. Take your time. This style is again a complete experiment which I am doing real time. I haven't drawn this before. Okay, so what is happening here is if you are putting your hand on the ink, then it is vanishing since it is drawn over the glaze pen. That's what is happening here. Yes, so I realized that, better late than never. So please don't put your hand on it much. Yes. So although I have been trying to avoid that, but now I'm quite sure it's your hand that is taking away the ink, because you have created a glazy layer on your paper, so the ink is kind of floating over the layer. Yes, that's what is happening here. So you can extend it here inside, wherever you can extend it. I'm not sure if we can shade this style also. Yeah. It's fun. Done with that. So I'm trying not to put my hand over, so you can see if you put your hand over it, it's coming here. Yes, so that's the thing. Since you have created a layer on your tile, the ink is kind of floating over your paper. So that's about it. I think we are done. I'm not going to tangle more. Let us first see if we can add some bit of shading to our tile before we add more to this tile. Yeah. So I'm going to add graphite and let's see what happens. Yes. So I've added some graphite and let's see if I can blend it also. Thankfully it works. Yes. So I'm going to shade my tile. I'm not adding anything more. Let's see if we can shade it nicely. This can be a little tricky thing to do. That's okay. It's good to experiment. So make sure you keep your stub away from the ink. So you don't have to redo the lines. Yes, soft touches. Then on one side, so you need not blend it, you can just add some graphite on one side of the zinger. And then you want to put some graphite here. Yes, places from where the lines are emerging. So I'm just adding some gray there. I'm not very sure if I'm going to blend it, but I'm adding some grays there. Maybe you can do this exercise with your brush pen. Yes, a darker gray than what we have used in the background. So this is an idea, explore it more. The glaze pen is not letting the ink stay on the paper. Yes, it's like drawing on plastic and then you just wipe it off with your finger. Yes, so that's the thing. You can add some at the intersections. Wherever lines are overlapping, you can add some touches of graphite there. Small, not much, slight touches where lines are going over, under. Good idea to touch those places. Yes. Now if I touch it a little, at places it is fine and at a few places it is kind of disappearing. I'm not touching much, just a gentle touch. Yes, some places it is going away. So that is okay. I don't think we need to shade more. Yes. So small little things that you can do is to add some of these black pearls floating around on your tile. It's a fun experiment. Nice, we learned so much about the pen. Yes, so This is the ghost tangle in the background. I hope you can see it. Yes, it's a glaze pen, and then we have tangled over it, and then we have added slight shading. Yes, and I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to complicate this style more. So let's finish it here. I'm going to put my name, or you can put your chop. Yes, so sign and date your tile. I'm not sure if I should have done that. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to close my tile here, and I'll see you in the wrap up session. Have a good time. Bye bye.